Dementia is, of course, such a sad, sad tale. I went through it with my own pop, my grandfather, and, he was forgetting our names, forgetting where he was. You think people are out to get you, weird sorts of things go through their mind, and without getting too deep into it, it's a sad thing. So what can we do for dementia? Can we correct it? What can we do in terms of lifestyle, in terms of nutrition? What are the common medical treatments for dementia? What are the first line things they do? And what do we have in terms of supplements? Have any supplements been studied for dementia? We're going to talk all about it right now here at One Wellness, baby. So when it comes to dementia, well, this is an umbrella term for many different types of neurodegenerative diseases, namely Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, where we hear of, Parkinson's, things of that nature, right? And of course, people are forgetful, you can't remember a whole lot, and it gets worse. It's progressive, right, over time. And, there are all sorts of other sad, side effects and things that happen with them. It's a very slow duration, progression. And if you could reverse it, that would be great. We don't have anything right now that's going to reverse it, but we do have things that can improve the outcome of people with dementia. And of course, you already know, we're going to talk about lifestyle and nutrition first. So what do we have in terms of lifestyle? Well, playing brain games, right? Brain games is a good thing. Any sort of mental stimulation, doing puzzles, playing board games, playing chess, Go, Sudoku, all that kind of stuff is definitely good, not only for neuroplasticity improvement in healthy subjects, but also for people with dementia. Exercise improves cognition across the board, but also in dementia. And so aerobic exercise, namely, improving that blood flow to the brain, promoting the production of neurotransmitters or brain chemicals that are involved in focus and attention and memory and thinking and also mood and being happy, right? And motivated and focused. But resistance training is also good. So if you're not running quite as much as you would like to be, as long as you're getting in the gym, as long as you're doing some resistance training, some form of exercise, that's really a biggie. And really the last one is reminiscence therapy. Right? And these are at least things that have been proven to help in some regard, right? There's a lot of things you'll probably find online, but this is what the evidence will say. Reminiscence therapy is more of a psychotherapy. They'll kind of go in and say, where were you at a specific time and place? Tell me a story, let's talk about that memory you have. Try to recall ones that you can recall. And it's really simple, but, might be beneficial, right? It definitely couldn't hurt, right? And so we have that in terms of lifestyle. Now, in terms of nutrition, there's really three types of diets that stand out. One is the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is great for a whole lot. Focuses on things like fish, nuts and seeds, whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables, extra virgin olive oil, limits red meat. You can also have red wine. That's fine. The bread you have is typically composed of whole grains, right? It's not like, processed simple white bread or anything of that nature, but you can have some. And that's the deal with the Mediterranean diet. They limit red meat, they limit sugar, they limit processed foods, refined flours, all that kind of stuff. So it is a general healthy diet. That would be good even if you didn't have dementia. But if you did, know somebody that has dementia or you do yourself, then it might not be a bad idea to talk to your doctor about picking up, right? Talk to your doctor about anything we're going to mention here in this video, before doing it, right? It's not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, prevent any disease. So we have the Mediterranean diet. We also have the DASH diet, dietary approach to stopping hypertension. And so we know that, of course, for lowering blood pressure. And it's pretty much the Mediterranean diet, but you skip the sodium and you skip the alcohol, right? So, it's okay to have red wine, again, in the Mediterranean diet, but not really with the DASH diet. So it could be any combination of those. And the third one is very much just that, the MIND diet, the Mediterranean DASH intervention for neurodegenerative delay, I believe is what it stands for. And that's pretty much a combination of them. So pretty much being healthy, eating healthy, right? Exercising and healthy food, whole food from nature. Here goes Shane again. But there are specific foods that would definitely be better for cognition than others. Blueberries are fantastic. Blueberries are loaded with anthocyanins, pterostilbene, antioxidants. Those are that improve blood flow to your brain, that are healthy for your heart, are healthy for your entire body, that can enhance cognition. It's the number one food in the world for memory and focus. So have a pack of blueberries every day. It couldn't hurt, loaded with fiber and other micronutrients as well. When it comes to the top gold standard treatment for dementia, like we said, we don't have a cure, right? but what are they going to give them in terms of medication? Well, there's really two types here. One would be an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, right? So, okay, English. Acetylcholinesterase is an enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine, right? So if something blocks this acetylcholinesterase, we call that an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. It's blocking the enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine. Why is that important? You want higher levels of acetylcholine because acetylcholine is the learning neurotransmitter, as we say. Facilitates learning and memory and focus and attention and mood and motivation and arousal and muscle contraction, a whole lot. But definitely memory and focus and learning and attention, right? And so that seems like it would be really important. Spoiler alert, one of our top natural supplements we're going to mention is an acetylcholine booster. You could probably guess what it is if you've seen a One Wellness video or you know about supplements, right? It's alpha GPC, if you were curious. So we're going to talk in a second, though, but I couldn't wait to tell you. So aside from acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, you have things, by the way, like donepezil, rivastigmine. Those are common medications that give people with dementia, right? And so talk to your doctor. If you're taking any medications, again, you're going to try any of the supplements we mentioned, see if there are any interactions, see if you can take them in the first place. Don't take my word for all this, all right? Just giving you the evidence, what it says and what happens. So two are NMDA receptor antagonists, N-methyl D-aspartate receptor antagonists, I believe it stands for. And that prevents glutamate from binding NMDA receptors. Glutamate is an excitatory brain chemical, meaning it gets you, So kids with ADHD could have high levels of glutamate. They also have lower levels of norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. But glutamate is an excitatory brain chemical. It's a lot of stimulation, but not necessarily in a good way sometimes. Too much of anything is a bad thing. And too much of it means it will actually kill your neurons. It will induce apoptosis or program cell death of a brain cell inappropriately, right? And so, we do not want that. And that's what these medications do, is they prevent the excessive glutamate from accumulating in the brain by preventing it from binding the NMDA receptors, right? So those are the two top things that they will give people with dementia. So what do we have in terms of natural supplements, right? Or supplements in general? Have any been studied for dementia? Because it's, if you're going to say a supplement will do anything for dementia, it had better be damn potent, right? I mean, if you're going to compare something to anything synthetic out there, any of these medications, right, do they stack up? And most often they don't, right? So it's rare to find natural supplements that are that potent. But we have a couple that show some promise, or have shown some promise, we could say. And there are really three. There are really three that stand out. One of them is not natural. One of them is synthetic, but two of them are natural. When it comes to symptoms of cognitive decline, right? And number one is alpha GPC, alpha glycerol phosphorylcholine. So it's glycerol and phosphate bound to choline. Glycerol and phosphate are parts of a brain cell membrane, and that's a good thing. You want to keep it nice and healthy and fluid-like so that it can function properly. And these little things can come through that membrane called receptors, and they can bind to chemicals like acetylcholine that help you to learn or remember something or focus, right? And so that's a good thing. And they also have acetylcholine, do alpha GPC supplements, and acetylcholine is the learning neurotransmitter, right? So we have more of that brain chemical helping us focus and pay attention and remember things, and that's a good thing. So alpha GPC has shown promise at a moderate effect size. All three of these are at a moderate effect size, not a high effect size, nor a small effect size, or we should say a large effect size, a moderate effect size. So that means that they could do some good. They're not necessarily going to cure anything, but they might help very well. They might help to, somewhat of a degree, right? And so alpha GPC is one. Ginkgo biloba is two. And ginkgo biloba improves blood flow to your brain. It helps you produce brain chemicals that will be able to make you focus and make you feel good and happy and all these things. It reduces inflammation too. It's good for a whole lot. So ginkgo biloba is another one that shows benefit in terms of a moderate effect size that it has on symptoms of cognitive decline. Piracetam is the third one. Piracetam is a synthetic compound, and that's also moderate effect size. So now we have some more that show benefit in a slight regard, small effect size, meaning they might do something, probably won't do much, but maybe a little something. And we have things like phosphatidylserine. We have things like Kana. We have things like Phlebodium aureum. Phlebodium aureum is a fern that they actually will typically give to people that have sensitivity to the light in terms of a skin reaction, right? So when they're exposed to sunlight, they'll get a rash or something like that. It's actually got a grade of A in terms of the evidence for that, interestingly. But it also might help out with mood and energy and focus to some small degree in people with Alzheimer's, right? Oxiracetam is another synthetic racetam that has shown benefit in a small regard. And last but not least is red light therapy. So red light therapy they typically do for other things. Could be skin conditions, could be mood, could be, a whole lot. I think we did a video on ADHD and red light therapy once. But that's on the list too. So that's what we got for you guys. I hope it wasn't too much. I hope it was just enough to give you an idea of what you can do to help if you have or know someone who has dementia. And if you do have it, maybe try to rewatch this video and try to reiterate to yourself, what we were talking about here. And that in itself is some mental stimulation, right? And if you can get yourself to remember these things, it's especially important because you'd like to be doing them every day. So that's what we got for you guys. Who do we got on here? Say what's up. Meg, how you doing? App State. Steve. Master Ben, how you doing? My bad. Ash, what's up, baby? Another reason we don't skip the yolk. You're damn right. Tommy Reed, full of all the vitamins and minerals and choline, vitamin D, and all the good stuff. All the B vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins. Sabia, what's up? Pasture-raised all day, though. Keith Tucker, better ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. It's actually 19-1 omega-6s to omega-3s in the cheap eggs, and it's 1-1 in pasture-raised eggs. How you doing, baby? And Keith Tucker, as for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you very much, and happy When Wellness. See ya.